Today guys, I'm going to show you how you can customize your Revolver headphones to sound great and also look good as well. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ritchie Plunkett here from the Puppet Geek, and today guys, we're going to be tweaking or modding a Revolver headphone. So what you need is a couple of screwdrivers or Phillips head, and that's about it really. Now what you want to start doing is take off those ear cups. They just clip away and they pretty much clip easily as well. Now this will expose the inner ear cups. As you can see here, they're pretty flat and slightly tilted as well. That gives that sort of angled sound in the much improved Revolver headset. Now you want to start removing the screws which are already exposed. I believe there's about 4 on each ear cup, and from there you want to be careful to actually make sure you don't lose these screws as well, because this holds the actual ear cups together. Now slowly remove the actual ear cup, making sure not to damage the wiring, because if you do that, then unless you know how to solder, then that's about it. Now as you can see here, inside it's actually quite hollow. Now what we can do here, it's a very common technique used in a lot of headphone modding, is sort of stuffing it with cotton balls. Now what this does is improves the bass and sort of, brings up the lows a bit, and as well dampens a bit of the sound, but also it just sort of tweaks it a bit, and it does actually have slight improvements. Now you don't actually have to do it with this particular headphones. You have other headphones which do have a little bit of an opening inside. You can actually just stuff these cotton balls inside here, making sure to stretch them out and basically put them in there, and it actually does a really great job. Especially with a lot of cheaper headphones, you will notice a significant improvement in the sound. However, in the more high-end headphones, you might not really hear that much of improvement. Now what we're going to be doing right now is actually showing how you can actually customize or sort of spray paint your actual headphones. Now the plan is to actually give the headphones a nice matte black finish, as I'm not really a big fan of the glossy finish. Now as you saw before, there's a bit of screws on the inner of the ear cups which you have to be really careful just removing those. And what I did here was I actually put one screw together to hold the ear cup back in place, because when you are moving it around, the last thing I want to do is actually accidentally cut one of the wires. Now to get into the sort of outer ear cup, which is the actual housing itself, or the glossiness of it, you had these sort of little covers as you saw there. You just remove those and just start unscrewing those, and they just come off really easily. Now there is a little sort of ball joint there. You just snap that out of place and you're pretty much good to go. Now the plan was, I was trying to actually get the red sort of ring inside this sort of plate, because I actually wanted to spray paint that black and still have the HyperX logo. And I've tried many things. I'm like trying to open it like so. I'm like, how come this thing is sealed tight, and I cannot figure out why it's like that. And then I figured out it has this sort of padding around it, and the screws were just actually inside there. So you sort of want to feel those around and just remove the screws from there. Now from there, the actual plate will come off, as you can see right here. It's a pretty solid plate. Now I personally actually wanted to remove the red plate and spray paint that black. However, I could not. It's definitely two separate plastic pieces. It's just really well stuck together. Really well. Now I'm not too sure if there was another screw in there, but man, it was so hard to take out. Okay, so from here, I just gave up, and I thought I'm just going to spray the whole thing. Now there's a couple of ways you can actually do this. Now you can do it like this, where you remove everything individually and you have a much more cleaner finish, or you can just get some painter's tape and properly seal it all up, not like this, but properly, and then that will give you a much more cleaner finish. Or you can do something like this, which will give you a nice outer ring, which I did a pretty crap job on that one. Hence why I removed it. Okay, so from there you want to actually just use the paint that you actually want to actually spray paint your actual ear cups. Do sort of a base coat first. Usually you can get that at any sort of hardware store. So you sort of want to do a couple of sprays of that, leave that to dry, and then go over with your finishing color, which is this matte black, which I have here. Now as you can see here, what I'm doing right now is I'm going over with gold. Now, I actually wanted to give this a gold finish, so you do this a couple of times. Depending on what type of gold paint you use, it may take a really long time to dry, so you just want to be careful, you know, how you do that. Now, fast forward in time, it took me a couple of hours to do that because I was a bit impatient and I sort of went ahead, but as you can see here, it turned out really great. I'm quite happy with it. As you can see here, all the screws are just all over the place. I'm trying to make sure I put it back together without sort of damaging the paint on there, because it's still a bit wet, especially the gold, because slightly a bit thicker, in which you'll see in most paint shops. But fast forwarding in time, putting it all back together, make sure you screw everything back in place. Overall, this whole point of this video was to sort of actually try to improve the audio, not just in the ear cups, but in the band itself. And as you can see here briefly, the actual headphones is the band goes straight into the ear cups, which was, I think, the main issue. But other than that, as you can see here, they turned out really great. A few scuffs around the ear cup because I was sort of a bit impatient. But as you can see here, it turned out really great. I'd love to see if you guys want to mod your headphones in sound, or sort of, you know, just give it a quick paint job. I'd love to see some of your examples. Make sure to subscribe for more content, and hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.